Bill, you've had one heck of a season last year. Not only did you win the track championship at the Dacotah Speedway, you also picked up a couple of wins and another track championship over at the Southwest Speedway. Reflecting on last year, how do you think the season went?
Better than expected. I was really thinking that if I could at least get a championship in Mandan, it'd be good. To do a repeat in Dickinson was a huge surprise, especially going against becoming an IMCA track out there. They were really getting their cars dialed in. So to be able to do a back-to-back and have a tie with one of their local drivers was a pretty big surprise.
You have been super fast these past few years. Where did this speed come from?
One, having a budget to be able to have the parts and pieces we need, and having a pit crew knowing what to do with those parts and pieces. Mike Kraft, who now runs a Legend car, a teammate of mine now too, has become kind of my main mechanic and really gets things tuned up when I need something. He's able to figure out what I want and how to get it. Nevin and his brother Neil helping with suspension and everything, letting them know what I want, and working together as a team really brought everything together.
You have been racing for almost 30 years now. How did you get your start in dirt track racing all those years ago?
Well, when we were kids, my dad actually drove a race car, so that kind of sparked the interest. My mom drove some of his in the old powder puffs. Some of my uncles back in the 70s and 80s helped build race cars. And a big hero of mine that used to race was Barry Vietz, the number 68. He was getting out of racing, so me and my brother decided, hey, let's build a car. And so that's where it started. And then I got my brother into it, and throughout the years, just friends and family pitting and getting them into racing. So it's been kind of a family event.
In those 30 years that you have been racing, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen since you first started to present day today?
One big thing was when I started in the hobby stock class. Back then it was called the Bombers, and it really literally was, take the interior out, your basic engine, transmission. You could build a car for about $800 and be competitive. And that's where it just kind of morphed into something different, to where the cars nowadays are definitely more of a race car than they were when I first started.
Well, with racing season a few weeks away, what are you currently working on to get you in the car ready?
Well, right now I'm actually working on my pit guy now / teammate again. He just purchased a car to run the hobby stock class that needed some body modifications and rebodied. So we're actually working on his car to get him ready, and then we'll be working on the RJR Camaro to get that ready.
What are your goals for the upcoming racing season?
I would like to see if I can pull off a back-to-back in Mandan now, the way I did in Dickinson. But the Oktoberfest at the end of the year in Mandan is one that's kind of eluded me for a feature win. So that one's kind of a goal race to try and win.
Where can race fans find you racing this summer?
This year it's going to be strictly Dacotah Speedway. Now that Dickinson has gone full IMCA, they allowed me a 1-year transition last year, but that's it for Dickinson now. So our main goal is and only will be Dacotah Speedway.
Who do you have to thank that makes this racing program a success?
First and foremost, Jackie with RJR giving me the opportunity to still drive this car, and having the ability to need what we need and always giving me what we want to make sure we were running races. My pit crew teammates, Nevin, Neil, and Mike, my wife Joanne, Mike's girlfriend Vicky, just as a support group, it's like a family coming together, and we just, as a group, keep everybody's cars running good, keeping what we need together as a group racing. And as far as sponsors go, other than RJR, we got Pucklet Chevrolet, who is a major supporter of the entire team. Lang's Lawn Care last year was with us. S&S Transmission, if you need something, these are the guys to go to for that. They support our deal here. And Jimmy V's Restaurant and Bar, big supporters, so I'd like to thank them also.